Hi, how are you? I'm very honored to be the part of this science and technology seminar for the cooperation diplomacy, which is very important, and then seminar on the way to revitalizing the network on the Korean young scientists in Singapore, and to strengthen their competence for the tenure and the future. Okay, and then today I'm very glad to have this talk, and then I'm very thanks to this supporting this great seminar activity by the agency, the Minister of Science and Technology, I believe, and then for the embassy too. And then my name is Nam-Joon Cho. I'm gonna give you a talk today for this exciting moment, and then give you a talk. And I'm the professor in the Nanyang Technological University, and then my title is the Strategy for Networking and Tenure in Singapore. And the first place, I was the Nanyang Associate Professor. Right now, I'm the only one for the Nanyang Professor in the School of Material Science and Engineering, and also the Principal Investigator for the Engineering and Translation Science Group and Nanyang Technological University, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to explain with the first for the why I choose bioengineering. But before I go for that route, because I'm talking about today for the tenure in Singapore and strategy for networking in Singapore. That's what I want to talk about, right? And which is a very important thing is you can actually heard, or when you live in Singapore, you heard about this S thing. S thing meaning is Singapore is small but strong. Singapore is a very small country, small population, but very strong and sophisticated and sufficient. You heard about this a lot of this word, and then I think it's very, very exciting. And then I'm gonna give you share my story about why I came to Singapore, and then what is Singapore mean to me, because I was living in Korea a little bit in less than 17, 18 years. Then most of my life I lived in US, and then working in their area for a long time. And then one of the things is this is my colleague and then my advisor. And we did the HCV drug discovery 2010. It was a lot of international news. And then interestingly, last year Nobel Prize is HCV drug discovery too. And then they basically do the person who got the Nobel Prize is a very good friend with us, and that we working together. So it's a very exciting moment. But I did actually training in material science and then also chemical engineering. So my major is very different from whatever I'm doing right now for the infectious disease. But the background is engineering, environmental engineering, material science, and chemical engineering. Then I did the infectious disease at Stanford University, and then my master is material science and engineering, and then PhD is basically in chemical engineering. It's a very rare composition of the material science, engineering, and chemical engineering. After that, very interestingly, I joined the gastroenterology and hepatology. At the time, I didn't even know the meaning of the gastroenterology, frankly speaking. The meaning is I do not have any MD background or anything. And then my colleague, he is basically MD background one. It was a very exciting antiviral drug development. That's what I did. And then also translation research. I performed, and then I wrote an 18 publication at the time for the engineering medicine. It was very, very rare, and then including 5 patents, including the 3 licensed ones. And then, at the time of I graduated 2016, and then also for the 2006. Not the 16, 2006. And then 2007, I planning to get the professor job in US, because I got the broad welcome funding, and then it was a very, very exciting funding, tenure track route. But however, 2008 there was something happened in the economic crisis. It was 2008 was the horrible year. Until 2008, 9, 10, there was funding cut. There is nothing happened. So a lot of shift from the Asia to the Boston, Silicon Valley to the Asia. So opportunity in Asia, I was just thinking about, opportunity in Asia because it's a fast-growing region in the world, and there's several key nations in one of the areas, China, Singapore, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and so on and so forth, is known as Asian Tiger. And then huge national effort to recruit better expertise is one of the things I recognize as the gateway of Singapore, because it's a gateway for the East-West gateway. English-speaking nation in Asia, world number 4 largest finance capital, a leading area for the biomedical science, recognized importance for the translation science, and so on and so forth. Luckily, when I joined, I had the choose NTU with a hefty funding of almost $4.7 million. The reason being, and at the time when I joined was 2011. And it was very fast rising in the university at the time. Right now, it's even much better. Right now, world ranking of the QS ranking is 12, but at the time of I joined was 74, 58, and so on and so forth. And then it's jumped 27 place over the 2 years. It was very fast. And then that's why I was very exciting, because of I got another fellowship, I can choose the university. However, choose university, that meaning is I interview university, not the university interview me, because I'm the another fellow. So I interview NTU, I interview NUS. At the time, of course, NUS, National University of Singapore, much higher ranking than NTU. However, I choose NTU over NUS because for me, dynamic is much more important. It's a very exciting moment. So then, I have a lot of exciting moment with the NTU. In a sense, high five for the NTU, interdisciplinary priority area. We can choosing for the sustainable Earth, and which is today's topic for the sustainability at the time of 2011, and future healthcare, new media, new Silk Road, innovation Asia, and so on and so forth. So it was very exciting. The activity at the time award National Research Fellowship, and then move NTU for the Nanyang Associate Professor. And then after I was a consulting associate professor for the Stanford University School of Medicine, principal investigator at MIT, Singapore MIT Alliance, and then also chairman for the NTU College of Engineering Future Healthcare Committee, fellow for the Renaissance Engineering, deputy director for the Nanyang Institute of Technology in Health and Medicine. So a lot of those activity was very exciting for me and interesting for this whole thing. So it was a very good moment, and then I'm very enjoyable to a lot of activity at NTU, and then those new initiatives for the health and medicine, it was fascinating for my activities. And then most of them is focusing on the translation science for the material science and engineering, biology, electric engineering, medicine, and drug development, computer science, and chemical engineering, so on and so forth. So last 40 minutes, I'm going to combine together what basis of major is important, because this is a very important thing, because a lot of people are thinking about, material science, you only do the developing of the material. You do the medicine, so you treat the patient, which is not the case. A lot of things mingled together so that, you do the work together. For example, I'm an engineer, right? Look at the title of what I get the funding. Combating infectious disease. My startup grant. Targeting assembly and function of hepatitis C virus, influenza infection, artificial liver plaque. All the title, I got money, tons of money, $13 million. That all relate with infectious disease. At that time, 2011, 2013, it's a rare disease. Not many people care. Right now, yeah, of course, as you can realize it, I'm very hot in my research-wise because my major is infectious disease. That's what I did. And then right now, because of COVID and so on and so forth, my whole research is very highlighted. But at the time, no one give you a shit. And then because of that, I basically can recruit top international students. One of the guys, Josh Zachman, I worked with him for a long time, and he's from the Harvard MIT Division of Health Science and Technology. And he was very exciting guy, and a very unique guy, very talented. He got the Harvard MIT Health Science and Technology program. And then, he basically joined from the HST program to the NTU. He just transferred because of my research activity. And then I train also very much a lot of excellent people, including the Mike Portraits, Jae-Hyuk Choi from MIT, Josh Jackman from MIT. And if you actually see it, a lot of people are from top university school people, that's what I very highlighted my whole career. Because of my work, it's a cross-disciplinary research activity-wise, it's very well aligned for the hepatitis C virus, antiviral blood filter, processing development, diagnostic development, translational medicine, influenza virus, and liver tissue engineering, also nanotechnology. Which this combination is a very well cross-disciplinary research activity, which is aligned very well with it. With joining the ARN, I basically have a lot of interaction with the Nano Korea Cellulite Symposium, and with aligning a lot of activity with the people, and then also create the research experience for the undergraduate REP program within the system. So it was a very exciting moment, like building up the whole career, not only for the tenure people, only for the young generation people to get together and work together. So this is the graduate student recruitment also, and then introduce the NTU to the Korea, so that we actually put everybody together in the working. And then you can see that a lot of university engagement I bring it to and then you see that this handsome guy in here bring it all together, put a lot of effort. So next 20, 30 or 40 minutes, I'm going to explain about how this tenure system, how this engagement system, how this major system actually get together. We can actually working together for this work. Thank you very much for the listening thus far. And the next 40, 30 minutes, I'm going to give you the lecture about how this tenure system, how this major, and then especially for the bioengineering can help you out for your tenure system. So let's take a look at the video. I'm not sure whether I can share my, okay, I think I can share my sound.
This is going to be completely unprecedented. It is going to affect medicine in ways we've never seen before.
You can match your blood transfusion.
Can you hear it? Good? Okay, good.
Transfusion to a blood type. What if matching a cancer cure
Precision medicine enables the ultimate delivery of personalized medicine, which means that you come to your doctor, you have your genetic information, and the doctor can use that genetic information to specifically design treatments for you. But obviously, there'll be thousands of individuals that have your disease and your gene. And so it's personal for you, but it's also treating large numbers of people in the same situation. We can look at individual tumors. We can even look at individual cells within tumors and and to design drugs that will inhibit or treat them. A really good example of how all this works is with a drug called Gleevec. And this is a drug for a certain type of leukemia. This drug had a miraculous effect. I mean, it basically cured the disease. However, the individuals who received this 6 months, a year later, it was back. Then a second drug was developed. We had the tools to go back, look at the sequence of that reverted protein and know where the change was, and then design a second drug to address that. And now the combination of those two drugs that are used in sequence basically has cured one form of this disease. And so I think that's what's going to happen. There'll be more and more examples of cases where we can join genetics, biology, and medicine. In heart disease, Chairman of Physiology, Andy Marks, has been studying a receptor that is absolutely central to how the heart functions. And recently, they determined a three-dimensional structure of this protein. That has then led very quickly to the development of small molecule drugs that address certain heart disease. That defines precision medicine because it can't be more precise than having a high-resolution three-dimensional structure that tells you something about the human disease.
What's so exciting is that we have the possibility of leading an entirely new era of medicine that makes sure new jobs and new industries and new life-saving treatments for diseases are created right here in the United States.
5 years ago, it was about $10,000 to sequence a whole genome. 10 years before that, almost $1 billion was spent worldwide in sequencing this. Today, we can sequence a whole genome in 24 hours for $1,500. But when you take 1,500 times the number of people you need to see before you begin to learn the relationship between the genetics and medicine, that's a very big number.
It is difficult to forecast exactly what the financial implications of precision medicine are going to be. On the one hand, if drugs are tailored to very specific populations, the prices are higher because the value to the patient is also higher. On the other hand, today, many people are taking drugs that are really not doing them any good. We can avoid the unnecessary costs of inappropriate medication. That would be cost saving.
It's important for the lay public to understand that this doesn't happen overnight. The genetics is now straightforward. We can sequence very rapidly, very cheaply, but we still have to add on to that the drugs developing, and that takes time.
All right, this video basically give you the idea of what is precision medicine, and then I give you the definition of a precision medicine. And then as you see that, look at my, the whole structure, the body structure, body posture, weight and everything. If you want me to fit it in my whole body, I can just go to tailor shop. Then I pay tons of money, then they can actually fit me directly. My hair, my head, my socks, pants, blah, blah, blah. Or alternatively, if I just want to get it suit, just go to Uniqlo or whatever those shop, I can just buy large, X large, XX large, X multiply 10 large, and so on and so forth. That is the conventional drug. Like, for example, customized drug, which is each patient is benefit. But the problem is very, very expensive. And who paid the money? Insurance. Who paid the money to the insurance company? You guys' money, your parents, taxpayer money. So it's just not working. So right now we have to have a hybrid system. That's why you have the over-the-counter OTC, over-the-counter drug that give you the sometime benefit. But the problem is, for example, I have a headache. After I took the Pfizer vaccine, I have a severe headache. Tylenol, it doesn't work. Panadol, it doesn't work. It's getting worse and worse. And then after all, I took the Advil. It's working very fine. See, the problem is sometimes the medicine you got from the over-the-counter, it does not have any effect or side effect. That is the problem. So that's why precision medicine is good in a sense, but that is the future we have to take. And then what is then biology? What is then the definition of a biology plus engineering? That biology, the definition is the science study or scientific study of living thing. Exactly. All right, I got all the answers. I'm checking right now. Very good. What is engineering? Engineering do like me? We basically take a look at the study from biology, and then we practical application of science we provide the solution, right? Why then do the biology? Hey, you get the Nobel Prize. If you study fundamental, you get Nobel Prize, right? What does engineer do? We make money, right? We solve the problem, we make the company, we make money, right? That's a different thing. All right, so this is the, then later on, these two things, biology, engineering is so cool. Why don't we combining together? Why don't we fuse it together? It's like man and woman marry because it's so cool. And then the birth of this one is biology, bio plus engineering combining together. That is what we call bioengineering. Yes, Subham, good. So what is definition of bioengineering? Bioengineering, and then I'm nice guy, right? Take a look at me. I'm very nice guy. That's why I highlight as a red. Definition of biology, which is red highlight. I make the red highlight. Advanced biology and medicine and improve medical practice and health care. That is definition from the NIH, right? Exactly. That's the definition of biology. And then it's a very complex, the research area that is including artificial organ study, bionic medicine, tissue engineering, transplantation engineering, bioinstrumentation, clinical engineering, bioengineering, so on and so forth. I mean, you name it. You put bio plus whatever that thing is, that's the whole new area you can have. So what's the problem? What is this bioengineering, clinical science, trial, what's the problem? For instance, 2 years, exactly about almost 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, right? Some virus called COVID-19 happened. No single scientist expect that it spread like this, right? I mean, if you read the newspaper article at the time, hey, who cares? Some people got infected, like Zika, like dengue, or other MERS kind of cases. Nobody expect that. Reality is this low, spreading this fast, and then we cannot get together right now. See? Why? Because low number of new drug or biologics developed by the company, and then FDA approval is so slow. Why? Because it's so expensive. And then there is a gap between academic research and commercial interest, which we are developing actually for the drug, for the antiviral drug. That is working against not only COVID, Zika, dengue, and so on and so forth. And then also there is a funding gap. Because if I had the 30 million plus, I already developed. That's what I always say. I need more research funding, right? But it's not happening. So there's a gap between. So that's why the concept of a translational medicine first came out, then translational sciences happened. what is definition of a translational science or translational medicine. But lucky you guys, because when we have a physical class, we have an exam like this. So question number 1, what is a translational science? And then give me example of a translational science. That was the exam question. So easy. But now we replace that with the report, so it's much easier for you guys. So what is definition of a translational medicine? Study of cancer therapy? Oh my OMG. Hello, what is the definition of a translational medicine? Okay. Translational medicine, rapid growth discipline, which is, okay. Let me give you a very simple example. When you're sick, you got the fever, what do you do? What do you do? Go to see the doctor. Yes, exactly. What are you doing? When you see the doctor, what do you do? You explain about you drinking water. You go to the doctor, see the doctor, and then start drinking water. Yeah, you're talking about your symptom. Talk, right? Translation science is the following. What doctor do? Doctor listen. What the patient say. Then what he do? Oh, you measure the temperature. Oh, I want to see your tongue. And then you see the tongue. After that, yeah, you're okay. You're not dead. I give you this drug. Boom, done. That's what doctors do. What doctors do? They listen, communicate with the patient, study based on their study. They examine. Okay, what is your symptom like? And then who? Chemist, other people, not MD, chemist, chemical engineer, other class of pharmaceutical people, fundamental study people, they actually develop. So translational science is basically combining with the MD, which is they communicate with the scientists, fundamental scientists like chemist, bioengineer, biologist, pharmaceutical people together to basically translate your knowledge, right? Translate your medicinal knowledge to the engineering approach, combining together to develop next generation product. Okay, so what is translational science? Which I'm going to show you the few programs, and then I'm going to give you one. I show you the one of the video so that you can actually capture what is a program, which is Stanford. The other one is the MIT program, which is the HST program. So Stanford SPARK program, basically, you're not developing drug by basic research only. No. You need the people from clinical research, basic research, which is the chemistry, biology, science, physics. Combining with your MD people, you need to see the patient symptom together with health policy people, global health people, even environmental scientists, even business, engineering, humanity scientists, all together with experts of pharma and biotech. With that, you can actually have a whole team to develop drug. Not just single scientists can do. That's why REP program, your program, take a look at your program, Renaissance Engineering Program. What do you have? You have, number one, not 4 year, you have a 5-year program combining with the engineering discipline, plus you have a master of business, right? So you have, that's why you have a business core. We are not just stupid guy randomly put you 1 year more study for random business thing. No. You need business as you see that. That's the translational science. That's the translational medicine, which partnership go with education, research, and innovation all together. Okay? Good. And then also the Harvard, MIT. Harvard is a famous school, right? You heard about Harvard University, Harvard College. What is they famous about? What is they famous for? I know Harvard worse than NTU. Yes, you're smart. Harvard Law School is very famous. Love Story. I know that movie, you know, my age. But Harvard is famous for. Okay, let me ask this question. MIT is good school, right? MIT is famous for football? No, MIT is famous for engineering and technology. What about Harvard? Harvard famous for Harvard business is famous, yes, but medicine, MIT. Have you ever heard about MIT Medical School? No, right? Why? Because they do not have a medical school. That's why you never heard about MIT Medical School. So that's why this whole program, HST program, you're combining with a medical school, which is from Harvard, next to each other, MIT, they marry each other. That's why HST program. What they have is they have a cultivate community of science and engineering, medicine and business, which is, you heard about this concept, which is, this concept is same as, no, same as REP, exactly, same as your class. That's why you guys are existing. That's why you guys get A, right? Good? All right, fantastic. So this HST model is basically combining medicine and engineering together with the education. What kind of education? You need to take a look at this one. This is for your information. I'm not taking exam. We don't have an exam anyway. Okay? So for your information, we have a various of different program within. So fundamental translation of science, we usually give you example of a Bob Langer lab. Do you know this guy? Hey, this guy is the investor of the Moderna. He make fortune. He was a professor actually. We did the lecture this one for a long time. And then I know him very well. Now he's a rich guy. But you know, he's a professor like me, chemical engineer. But he developed a lot of patent, IP, idea, research accomplishments, and so on as an engineer. Now, he not developed the Moderna product. Basically, what he did, he invest money to the Moderna product. How? Because he's a scientist. He knows the science. Right? All right. How does he do? Basically, he has a huge idea, and then publish paper. As you know, we publish paper too, right? And then media block, which is you blocking IP, and then go to media, you discuss about your invention, then boom, you make company, right? Lots of money. Money talks. Show me the money, right? So let's take a look at how we do, and then we have a very nice video of his innovation.
I think the important thing to realize is that the things that seem so exciting today, I mean, those discoveries are already happening. Really, you want to put yourself in the position where you'll make the discoveries for tomorrow.
Many of his former students now lead companies or laboratories of their own and advise governments on medical technology. As a colleague has said of Robert's students, they come away thinking that nothing is impossible. Polaris Venture Partners, a fund that has supported many of the companies that have had their origins in the Langer Lab, estimate that research done by Robert and his colleagues ultimately affects 2 billion people.
I'm not the kind of person that just wants to, that's just curious. You know, I valued science ultimately for the good that it can do. And I've gotten a lot of satisfaction out of trying to create science and engineering that can do good, rather than just be very curious. And so I think it's that thread that, you know, goes through my own career.
So Bob Langer is we give a lecture all the time, but he's the one of the basically early investor or founder of Moderna, and then right now really influential guy for the whole science. But the reason I basically give you the idea, because end of the day you guys gonna be decide, hey, which subject I have to do it, right? And then a lot of question, hey, from the engineering, should I do the computer science and engineering because everybody talking about AI, artificial intelligence? Should I do the electric engineering because I want to make the circuit of a semiconductor? But everything is interconnected, believe it or not. So the subject is not important what you do. Later on, what is the most important thing is how are you going to interconnect the subject each other? That is the most important matter. The meaning is, take a look at your neighbor right now, neighbor screen, or your friend. The most important thing is basically your network of interest. Science is the same thing. You want to do the bioengineering, but why don't you combine with the biophysics with the engineering, or biophysics with the biology? That is give you the basically whole brand new idea. And then as you see the pollen, a lot of people think it's trash because a lot of people think, hey, they have an allergenic impact, which people try to avoid it. But I bravely utilize this negative side effect, disadvantage to the advantage, then boom, hallelujah. And that's a holy grail you can actually make from nothing to something. That's innovation, right? So the field of biology is including biomaterial, cell and tissue engineering, advanced drug and gene delivery, biomems, biomedical imaging, cancer therapy, and synthetic biology. This is a few examples. And then I'm going to throw in with a picture. I'm not going to explain in the great detail. We're not going to take the exam, but I want to give you the idea of how broadly or how various fields can generate from the subject of bio or biology combining with engineering. Okay, that's what it is. So if you actually take a look at the biology is the idea of using the material. Biomaterial is the idea of using the material and the biologic substance, and then they're utilizing in clinical application for various fields, and that is including implant, tissue engineering, scaffold, drug delivery platform, and so on. This is expert of Bob Langer. Basically, there is a lot of different classification for the biomaterial, which is including device, drug, biologics. Okay, and then the property you need to consider: kimchi every day. Why you want kimchi every day? Okay, very good. Why are you so obsessed about kimchi?
It's very good.
Come to our lab, and then we can actually give you the recipe of how do you make the kimchi. All right. Good. Let's make some cooking class or something. You should know how do you make the kimchi. Do you? Hey, Sui Kit? Yes, Prof. Okay. Do you have a girlfriend? Yes, Prof. How many? All of them. 10. If you like kimchi, you should have a lot. Yes. That's one girlfriend or two girlfriends? How many girlfriends you have? So you know, if you want to get loved by your girlfriend, yes, Prof. Too, you need to actually know how do you make the kimchi, okay? Okay, Prof. Come to my house. I will make kimchi.
Teach me. Good. Teach us.
Teach it. Okay, I will do that. Don't worry about it. So, same as making kimchi, the property you need to consider to make the biomaterial have to be biocompatible. The meaning is, okay, you want to dump in this biomaterial to your body, have to be compatible with you, like girlfriend. The character-wise, you have to be compatible, right? Otherwise, you're fighting every day. That's not what you call the girlfriend, right? Good? I know you're old enough to understand what I'm talking about. Have you ever went to the army? You went to army and come back, right? No? Not yet? You need to go? See, kid? No? It's okay. And then have to be bioactive, and you have to mechanical and chemical property, structural property, and biodegradability. Girlfriend, definition of girlfriend, which is Sean Chan giving me the definition of girlfriend: person, regular female companion with whom they have a romantic relationship. Is it? All right, good. Thank you very much for the definition. All right, so the biomaterial, there is a lot of different type of biomaterial that is including the in here seeing as the PLGA polymer, biodegradable, a lot of different type of material that is including the cartridge, your body, or blood, pipeline, bioreactor, and so on and so forth. But one of the important thing basically is how compatible it is. Okay, this is the biomaterial, and then other biomaterial application that is including the artificial hip joint, contact lens, and then nowadays they're using the intraocular lens, and then also the bone substitute, artificial heart, and so on and so forth. So this is the whole area of biomaterial engineering. Now let's go to the cell and tissue engineering, which is the cell and tissue engineering is combining with the scaffold and biofactor. Nowadays, people talking about aging society, right? And people living much longer than before because the medical, advancement. Also, the whatever we're eating is different. Our sterilization of the whole society is different, so on and so forth. So the human being, the aging is in a different era, different substitution, different meaning for this one. And then for this tissue engineering scaffold, they're using this one to basically utilizing, or some part of it they develop so that they can actually help the human being part. And then they basically develop the artificial organ. And as you see that in here, the kidney, artificial skin, even artificial heart with the 3D printing. And then this is a very famous Bacanti mouse, which is they put the ear, artificial ear to the mouse, which is Bob Langer group. They basically did it together. Okay, and the other one is advanced drug and gene therapy. The reason I'm showing you advanced drug and gene therapy, right now, whatever you're seeing for your vaccine, that is the part of advanced drug. And the different platform I'm showing in here, obviously, one of the platform you took, that is LNP, which is lipid nanoparticle, you took, they incorporate with the mRNA. That's why they can develop very fast. That's why right now you got all vaccinated. We're gonna get together and live with the COVID very soon. Other one is the bioMEMS kind of study, which is the very important thing is the lab on a chip application. That said, basically, that said, using very simple, very small scale chip, we make the chemical factory. That's it. We make chemical factory. That's what we do is the diagnostic application, lab on a chip, and so on and so forth. And then those bioMEMS, which is microelectronic mechanical device, which is that including the diagnostic kit. Rapid diagnostic kit is one of the bioMEMS material too, because they have the microfluidic channel to do that. And then sensing thing is also bioMEMS related area. So a lot of mechanical engineering people combining with the chemistry, they're using this bioMEMS kind of study. Biomedical imaging. Okay, in the aging society, and then our body is a very complex object, and then before something happens, you just open up and then take a look at and then close it. but it's not that great feeling or great experience. You open up your body and close it and do it again and again and again. So what scientists want to develop is you want to have an invasive way, non-invasive way to actually measure or examine your body. That is the what whole innovation is happening. That is including X-ray, PET, ultrascan, MRI, CT scan, and so on and so forth, including the fluorescence microscope, right? Basically, they want to take picture of inside your body. In order to do that, we need some agent to doing it. You cannot just take photo and then they can see your inside your body organ and so on. So what we develop is a various of different type of a material that can go inside your body and that we can actually take a look at. That one of the thing is the quantum dot and the nanoparticle and so on and so forth. And then cancer therapy. So, you know, now we have a COVID-19 pandemic, you know, pandemic and epidemic, which is the devastating, but still one of the most and unsolvable problem is the cancer. And then there is a lot of different therapy we develop, which is surgery, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, target therapy, hormone therapy, and so on and so forth. But, you know, there is a novel cancer therapy also people develop. As technology develop, we basically put a lot of effort to solve a problem, even though the disease is very complexly evolved. But we try to develop the new way of doing it. And one of the LNP technology, lipid nanoparticle technology, is originally developed for cancer therapy. Moderna, the company Moderna, is originally they want to develop cancer drug, not the vaccine. They basically using same technology for the vaccine because there is no solution, right? So what they do is basically there is a different type of a therapy. I'm not going to go over all those therapy, but it's a very, very invasive. That meaning is right now we don't have any selectivities. Obviously, we can kill the cancer cell, but the problem, we not only kill the cancer cell, we kill every cell. That's the problem, right? So that is the problem. So we need to have selectivities. That's the key part for the cancer therapy, which we don't have. And then synthetic biology, basically, the whole idea of synthetic biology is we want to create our own. We want to create the human being. That is the whole idea of synthetic biology. And then people actually, from the genome editing, gene editing, this Craig Bantel guy, he basically create the whole synthetic genome, synthetic material, so that he want to create the synthetic life, which is, there is a lot of controversy. And then the ethic you need to consider. If you wanna just do whatever you can do, that is really different from. You need to really thinking about the ethic matter if you want to do the this science. But in the science-wise, he's the #1 guy, or for the first time he create the synthetic life. And then his job is basically, he said he always claimed that over the next 20 years, synthetic genome become a standard of making everything, making anything, including you. Okay, it's very scary actually if you think about it. So today's lecture, the big picture is, you know, biology, engineering, they combining together, which is bioengineering cover diverse range of topics. And many applications have reached to the market, and then many more need to be emerging. And then the innovation is a societal necessity. You need to do the innovation which is covered with the societal impact, In other words, this scientific discovery have to be aligned with, I believe, that's my opinion, societal impact, which is very important. And the multidisciplinary is very